Hey, in this video I will show you my habit tracker Notion template in which you can not only track your habits every single day, but you can also set specific goals for each habit and track your progress towards these goals. In this video I will first give you a quick overview of what the template looks like, then I will show you exactly how you can set it up for your own habits and your own needs. And lastly, I will show you how you can fill in the template every single day. Okay, so this is what the template looks like. In the top, I added a cover image of my vision board for the year, but you can change the cover image to any picture that you like by uploading a file right here, or you can remove it by clicking this button. I added an icon, I added a title and a little quote to keep me motivated, which all of these you can edit to something that you like. Next to the quote, there are the two main databases of the template, which is the Habit Tracker Daily and the Habit Overview. I will get to both of those in a minute when I explain how we can set them up. Below there are two table views. The first table is our actual habit tracker, in which you can check off any habits that you completed, and there is a view for this week and this month, in which only the dates of the week or the month will be displayed accordingly. You can move this around easily, for example into your main dashboard or a monthly or weekly planner, so that you see it every single day and it is easy to fill it out. Below is the second table view, which is the overview, in which you can see your progress towards your goals. You can see your actual goals and how often you checked off one of your habits. For now everything says 0, but as we start setting it up you will see how this works. Let's start setting up our template. For this we first go to Habit Tracker Daily, to the main database, and what you want to set up first is the automation, and this automation means that every single day a new line will appear automatically and you do not have to add a new page every single day. You do this by clicking the little arrow next to New, then you will see Daily Habits right here set to default, and you click on the 3 dots. Then you click on Repeat. You want to make sure that is set to every 1 days. The starting date should be the day of today, like the current day that you are starting to use the template, and then you put the time at 1 minute past midnight, and here you can select your own time zone to make sure that it sets up at 1 minute past midnight in your time zone. As you can see below, it would set up every single day between 12 and 3 a.m. So that means that whenever you start using it in the morning, the new line will be there. When you fill this in, you click Save, and you can just close this, and your automation will be set up. For the very first day, you can just click New Page, and it adds a new line for that day, since the automation will start working the next day. Okay, what we want to do next is we want to set our own habits. I will just quickly delete this line since I already have a line for the 30th. And okay, let's set our habits. Here there are 9 different habits that I already set. For example, drink enough water, eat healthy, 10,000 steps a day, but you can change these to whatever you like. You can change it by clicking on here. You can change the title of the habit, and by clicking on here you can set an icon from the database that you want to set that matches the habit. I will leave these 9 in here the way they are. but feel free to change them however you see fit. If you make any changes in here, it will automatically update on the home page in the table view. If you want to track less than 9 habits, you can just click on one and say delete property, and it will delete both here and in the table view on the home page. When you set habits, make sure you set things that you want to do at least once a week. If not, it is not a habit. So you can pick habits that you want to do once or twice a week, but also things you want to do every single day. And later we will set that up properly for your needs. But for now, you just need to input the actual habits in here. Let's say you want to track more than 9 habits. That's also possible. You go here and you say duplicate property. Then a new line will show up that looks exactly the same, and you can change the title and the icon. For example, I input a language practice right here, and I add the icon that matches language practice to me. So that would be this one of a speaking bubble with languages in here. Okay, so now this is all set up, but if you have added an additional habit, it is important that you also update the main page, since it doesn't automatically add a new habit to the view. So let's go down here. As you see, our new habit isn't showing yet. So what you want to do is you click here on the settings, you go to properties, and then in the hidden ones, your new habit will show. So you click on the eye, so it becomes visible, and you can move it right here next to study. As you can see, it's right here, and you can make it slightly smaller to match the other habits. And you want to do this separately for both views. It's a little bit annoying to have to do it this way, but you only have to do it once when you set it up, and then it will remain there without a problem. Right here, okay, and this way our habits are set up and the tracker is set up. The next thing you want to do is set your goals. So for each habit, maybe you have a different frequency in which you want to do this habit, and we can set this in the habit overview. This table consists of 2 views, one the setup, in which we will be working now, and then there is the overview, which is the same view that is also displayed on the home page. Okay, right here are all our habits, and please make sure you update them if you updated them in the habit tracker so they match. I added another habit in there, so I will do the same here by duplicating it, by changing the icon, and then I input language practice. So it's all set up, and these goals, these habits, match the habits that I set in the tracker. Okay, what is cool about this template is that you can set your frequency, for example, to once a week, and then you input the start date, for example, the 1st of January, and the end date, for example, the 31st of December. So it's for the entire year, and the frequency would be once a week, so the goal would be 52 times a year. If you update the frequency to twice a week, it will set to 104, and so on for the other frequencies. But let's say you didn't start on the 1st of January, but you started 2 weeks later, it will automatically adjust the goal in the end. So you can use this template whenever you want. You don't have to start on the 1st of January, and you still can set your goals, and it will still automate the amount accordingly to when you start and when you finish. For the goals to calculate, it is important that you set a start date and an end date for every single goal. So if you don't have a specific end date, just put the last day of the year and the start date when you start using the template. So let's say we want to study for a specific exam. We're doing it all of January until the middle of May, because that is when our exam is. And until then, we want to study 3 times a week. It will put a number of 57 in total. Then this one, let's say we want to do it all year, and the 8 hours of sleep is a habit I just came up with today that I added to the template, and I also want to keep doing it until the end of the year. So I set it to the 31st, also add once a week, just to show you how it works. So the number in the goal varies depending on your settings of the date and the frequency. Then I will quickly show you something in the overview so you understand how it works, because in the overview we have a column called time, and this is basically the amount of time that has expired. So the first goal we set from the 1st of January until the 31st is the entire year. Currently the year is at 8%. So you can see here 8% of the time has passed, which means that in your progress bar you should be around 8% as well. This means you're on track. If your progress is lower, you're falling a bit behind, but if your progress number is higher than the time, you're actually ahead of schedule. For the 8 hours of sleep, I set the starting date to today and the end date to the end of the year. So it's at 0%. And for studying, we started the 1st of January, but we're finishing in May, so the percentage is already more advanced at 22%. And this way you can easily compare the time and the progress for every single goal that you set. So I will go back to the setup and I will finish setting it up. Yeah, so for every single habit you have, you set a start date, an end date, and frequency, and the goals will automatically be calculated and they will be visible in the overview right here where it says goal, and your time will be calculated as well. Next, I will show you how to use this template every single day. So we move back to the home page after setting our goals. Okay, so right here we have our habit tracker with the current days in there. In this view of this week, you will see all dates of this week, and in this month, you will see all the dates of the month. If you want to see all the habits you've ever tracked, you can go to the main database. Now for filling this in, you can just check off the habits that you did. So let's say we woke up by 7, we had 8 hours of sleep and we journaled. Then we click right here and we select the same habits. Awake by 7, 8 hours of sleep and journal. And now they're right here. So then if you scroll below to the overview, you can see the current counter on 1 for these habits. So it counts every single time you input your info here, it adds to the current count. So let's say we did these habits every single day, and then we also worked out twice and we studied twice. Then we fill in the same in the overview: awake by 7, 8 hours of sleep, journal, work out and study. Okay, and I will just copy paste it since they're exactly the same. So now if we scroll down, we can see that awake by 7, 8 hours of sleep and journal all have a current count of 3, which in case of awake by 7 means the progress bar is at 1%. Since we want to do this every single day, we just completed a very small percentage. Then the 8 hours of sleep at 3 is at 6% because we set that goal for only once a week. And here you can always compare your progress compared to the time. So for example, for journaling, you're at 6% and 8% of the time has passed. So you're just very little behind. But for the waking up by 7, you're far behind. Of course, now this is not a realistic view because we're just testing it out. But if you really set your own habits, your own time frames, it will work out perfectly. So that is basically how you use the template on a daily basis. You check off your habits here, you select them in the overview column, and then the overview below will be updated automatically. The time will track automatically, the progress will track automatically, and the current number will track automatically. You can always adjust your goal by going back up here to the habit overview, and to change your settings, to change the frequency, the start date, the end date, you can always adjust it. You can add in a new habit at any point of the year if you want, just by setting the start date to that day, and then you can start tracking it. What I personally like to do is I like to keep this view somewhere that I see every single day. So this view I would, for example, put on my Notion homepage in a weekly or monthly planner, so you see it every single day and you just quickly fill it in. And then this overview, you can just keep it in here in the habit tracker database, but you can also move it to your goals page or anywhere else where you can check how your progress is doing. I think that is it. That is how the template works. I hope that you will enjoy using it.